Imagine getting married before rings, white dresses, or dramatic owl music existed. There is no sparkling diamond on anyone's finger. There is no nervous uncle recording the ceremony on a phone. There is no white dress floating across a perfectly decorated room. There is not even a room. There is a fire, a hungry group, and two people everyone is watching. So how did humans say I do before weddings looked like weddings? The answer is stranger than one ancient romantic sentence. They probably said it with actions. They said it with food. They said it with family approval. They said it with witnesses. Exchange, movement, and responsibility. Because before marriage became a beautiful ceremony, it was a public signal. Anthropologists find marriage-like rules across human societies worldwide, but those rules look very different from place to place. Some societies emphasize family approval. Some emphasize gifts or service. Some emphasize shared homes. Some emphasize alliances between groups. That variety gives us the first big clue. There was probably no single original wedding. No first aisle, no first cake, no first person yelling, "Please silence your mammoth," instead. Humans kept inventing ways to make commitment visible. That matters because private attraction is invisible. The group cannot easily see feelings. The group can see who shares food. The group can see who sleeps near whom. The group can see who moves into whose household. The group can see who accepts responsibility for children. In ancient life, being seen mattered. A relationship was not only between two hearts, it was between families. Children, food, labor, and survival. So an early I do may have looked less like a vow. It may have looked like a public act. Maybe two people sat together near the fire. Maybe one family brought food to another family. Maybe a partner gave tools. Meat, beads, skins, or labor. Maybe relatives nodded with serious faces. That nod might not sound romantic. But in a small ancient community, it could mean everything. It meant people knew the couple was linked. It meant others understood the relationship had social weight. It meant the union was not just a secret feeling in the bushes. Modern weddings still do something similar. We invite witnesses. We make announcements. We wear symbols. We sign documents. We feed everybody until they forgive the seating plan. The ancient version had fewer decorations. But the social job was surprisingly familiar. Tell the group what changed. Show who belongs together. Show who has obligations now. Show which families are connected. That may be why food was so important. Food is one of the oldest languages humans understand. If someone brings food to your family, that is not just dinner. It can mean respect. It can mean alliance. It can mean I am serious enough to share resources in many societies. Marriage involves exchange between families. Sometimes it is gifts. Sometimes it is bride wealth. Sometimes it is service. Sometimes it is a long period of proving usefulness. Imagine trying to impress your future in-laws by hunting successfully. Now imagine the in-laws are also judging your firewood skills. Romance is suddenly very sweaty, but this practical side made sense. A new union changed who helped whom. It changed who shared food. It changed who protected children. It changed who could call on whom during crisis, so ancient marriage signals had to be hard to ignore. A private whisper was not enough. The community needed evidence. This is where ceremony begins. A ceremony is basically a memory machine. It makes an event hard to forget. People gather, people watch, people repeat words or actions, people eat together. Then later, nobody can pretend they missed the point. Even without rings, humans had bodies, voices. Objects and crowds, that was enough to create meaning. A shared meal could say, this bond is accepted. A gift could say, these families are connected. A new sleeping place could say, this household has changed. A public blessing could say, the group recognizes this. A dance could say, please remember this, even if the dance is terrible. The exact form depended on culture. That is the important part. We should not imagine every ancient couple doing one universal ritual. Some unions may have been arranged by families. Some may have followed long courtship. Some may have involved negotiation. Some may have been simple and informal. Some may have been wrapped in rules we would find confusing today. Human marriage has always been flexible, but the need underneath was steady. People needed a way to turn private desire into public commitment. That phrase is the key. Private desire can happen quickly. Public commitment takes structure. It asks the group to recognize a bond. It asks relatives to respect boundaries. It asks partners to accept expectations. It asks everyone to remember who is responsible for whom. This was especially important because children are expensive, not just money expensive. Ancient children were time expensive. Food expensive, protection expensive, patience expensive. Very small humans are adorable, but they are terrible survival partners. They cannot hunt, they cannot carry water well, they cannot politely say, I will handle night watch. They need adults for years, so when two adults formed a recognized union, the group gained clarity. Who helps feed the child, who protects the nursing parent, who shares work, who has a claim to support, who becomes connected through kinship. That clarity was ancient gold, not shiny gold, social gold. The kind that keeps people from arguing until the fire goes out. Rings came much later as one kind of visible symbol. White wedding dresses became powerful much later still, but the deeper human problem was older than both. How do you make commitment visible? A ring answers that with metal, a dress answers that with display. A ceremony answers that with witnesses. Ancient humans answered with whatever their world provided. Food, tools, labor, family agreement, public gathering, moving homes, shared responsibilities. The symbol could be simple. Meaning could be enormous. Think about a couple standing before two families. Nobody has a diamond. Nobody has a photographer. Nobody has a printed invitation. But one family gives food, the other family accepts it. The couple sits together, the elders watch, the group understands. That may be the ancient shape of I do. Not a perfect sentence, a social moment, a shift everyone can see, and that shift changed the future. After it, a child might belong to a clearer network, a partner might receive help during danger, a family might gain allies. A conflict might be avoided, a community might become more stable. That is not as glamorous as a wedding dress. But it is powerful. Modern people often focus on the romantic performance, the ring reveal, the dress. The vows, the flowers, the perfect photo where nobody looks hungry. Ancient people probably cared less about performance and more about consequences. Would this bond last? Would the families cooperate? Would children be supported? Would food be shared? Would jealousy be contained? Would everyone remember the agreement? That is the ancient nervous energy hiding inside modern weddings. We still gather witnesses because private love wants public recognition. We still exchange objects because symbols help memory. We still feed guests because meals turn strangers into participants. We still invite family because marriage changes more than two people. Even when weddings become expensive and dramatic, they are doing an old job. They are making a private bond visible. They are telling the group this matters. That is why I do was never only about words. Words are beautiful. But humans trusted actions first. Show up, bring food, accept responsibility, let the community see. Stay when staying is hard. Those were vows before vows became speeches, and maybe that is the twist. Before rings and dresses, humans did not need a perfect symbol. They needed a shared understanding. They needed everyone to know that two lives had been tied together. The first I do may not have sounded like I do at all. It may have sounded like relatives agreeing. It may have looked like a meal being shared. It may have felt like two families becoming less separate. It may have been quiet. It may have been awkward. It may have included at least one suspicious elder, but it worked because the group understood the message. These two people are now linked. Their responsibilities have changed. Their families must pay attention. Their future is now partly shared, so the next time you see a ring, a dress, or a wedding aisle, remember this. Those are modern answers to a very ancient question. How do humans make love visible enough for society to trust it? And if you lived before rings and dresses, how would you say I do? Would you share food? Would you exchange gifts? Would you gather witnesses around the fire? Or would you invent the first wedding speech and immediately regret it?